Español 1, Unidad 7, Lección B, Gramática. First, let's talk about verbs with accent marks. So sometimes verbs that end in UAR and IAR need a written accent mark to indicate that a vowel should be stressed for all present tense forms except for the nosotros forms, like esquiar, enviar, and continuar. Notice how they end in IAR or UAR. The accent marks have been underlined in all the forms, and notice how the nosotros form does not have the accent mark. The endings are normal. And you will also have to learn which verbs follow this pattern, since some verbs that end in these letters do not need additional accent marks. For example, copiar and estudiar. They only have accent marks on the vosotros forms. Now let's talk about the present tense of dar and poner. So for dar, the only irregulars are yo doy and vosotros dais. For poner, it is yo pongo, which is the only irregular one. All other forms are regular. Some other irregular yo forms of common verbs: hacer changes to yo hago, saber, yo sé, ver, yo veo, and salir, yo salgo. Now referring to describing people with DOR versus DORA and ista. To identify someone who plays a sport or activity, just change the ending of the verb form and the ending of the noun. For example, esquiar becomes el esquiador or la esquiadora. Jugador or jugar becomes el jugador and la jugadora. Patinar, el patinador and la patinadora. For el tenis, you have el or la tenista. For el fútbol, you have el or la futbolista. Los deportes, el or la deportista. Notice how with the verb form, you change it to dor or dora with male and female. For the nouns, the endings are changed to ista, which are gender neutral. You just have to identify the gender with el or la. The accent marks are not used on the new words with the new endings. Now let's talk about ordinal numbers. So ordinal numbers go after the definite articles el, la, los, and las, and they go before the nouns. They must agree in gender and number with the corresponding noun. For example, ¿Cuáles son los primeros corredores en terminar? Who are the first runners to finish, or which runners came in first place? When primero and tercero go before a masculine singular noun, they are changed to primer and tercer. For example, Carlos es el primer corredor en terminar. Carlos is the first runner to finish. Antonio es el tercer corredor en terminar. Antonio is the third runner to finish. And you abbreviate by putting N letters in the upper right-hand side of the number. Notice these examples.